My name is DeMarcus Mitchell, and I'm an airman in the United States Air Force. I actually enlisted into the Air Force when I was 30 years old. I know that sounds crazy or a little old or late, but I think it was the perfect time for me. I went to college, made a lot of friends, played sports, was able to travel the world, but at the end of the day, I wasn't quite able to achieve what I wanted, and the Air Force gives me the opportunity to do that. When I joined the Air Force, my friends and family all kind of had very different reactions. Some people were like, yeah, that's awesome, congratulations. Other people were like, really? At 30? Aren't you a little old? But honestly, it didn't really faze me either way because I had my reasons why, and those were really important to me. How was my boot camp experience? Well, in the Air Force, boot camp is basic military training, or BMT. And honestly, I think I had a very unique experience because I actually went through during COVID. Was there ever a time that I thought I wasn't going to see my family again? At basic training, you're cut off from the world. You literally have no interactions with anybody who's not training you, yelling at you, telling you when to shower and use the bathroom. And when COVID started, basically everyone who had access to the outside world was like, oh yeah, there's just a bunch of zombies out there. And all we knew about COVID was that it was this really crazy virus spreading across the world. And my brain, thinking about all the horror movies I've seen, was just like, oh my God, it's like Shaun of the Dead. There's just zombies outside eating people. And I was just like, am I going to see my family again? Am I going to get out? And there's just going to be just buildings on fire and cars on fire and people just running around trying to eat each other. So that was like the moment where I was like, I don't know if I'll see my family again. But obviously that's not the reality we live in, thankfully. Did I ever feel pressured or stressed? Since I have never been to war, the only thing I can really compare it to is basic training. Being 30 years old with a bunch of 17 to roughly 26-year-olds can be really stressful because the maturity level and the difference is huge. My life experience versus maybe a senior at your school is going to be totally different. And when we're asked to do things, my brain is like, okay, let's get it done. Some younger people, they're like, la-di-da-di-da, ooh, a daisy. It gets stressful, especially when you're put in a position where you're supposed to be an example for those people and they don't want to listen. But ultimately, basic training was a really awesome time. If you're thinking about joining the Air Force, then I say definitely reach out to your local recruiter and find out as much information as you can. Definitely start early. There's height and weight requirements. You have to take the ASVAB, which is basically it's like an entrance exam into the Air Force. Actually, it's for all of the branches. But you want to start early because if you're not really a great test taker, then there's a lot of practice ASVAB courses that you can take. You can also meet up with a recruiter and get tips and tricks from them in person. You can also get into some other programs if you're thinking about going special forces that will help you with training for that as well. I personally joined because I ultimately want to be a physical therapist, and there's programs to commission and become an officer for that. So my whole plan for the next 4 to 6 years is to take courses which the military will fund to help me apply to that program. Another way to describe basic training, the funniest place you're not allowed to laugh. Another way to describe basic training, the most fun place you never want to go to again.